You have paid this charge every month for years, and if someone stopped you on the street and asked what it was, you could not tell them, and that would embarrass you a little. So you have never said it out loud. You just quietly assumed that somewhere, someone competent had decided this was a real and necessary thing, and that questioning it would only make you look like the kind of person who does not understand how the world works. Let me take that off your shoulders right now. You do not understand that charge, because there is nothing there to understand. It is not complicated. It is not technical. It was made to feel that way, so that you would do exactly what you have been doing. Look at it, feel slightly stupid, and pay. So let us look at it together, because you are not alone in this. Nearly everyone with a phone is paying some version of this, and nearly everyone is doing the exact same thing you are doing. Glancing at the total, wincing a little, and paying it without ever going line by line. That is not a personal failing. That is a bill designed to be skimmed and not read. When you signed up, you were shown one number, a clean and simple monthly price, printed large. What you were not shown, at least not anywhere your eye would naturally land, was the small stack of extra charges that would quietly attach themselves to that number the moment your first real bill arrived. You did not miss the fine print because you were careless. You missed it because someone spent a great deal of effort making sure it was easy to miss. Now go find it. Open your most recent bill. The real itemized one, not the summary. Scroll past the big number. Scroll past your plan. Keep going, down into the part that looks like small gray legal text, the part you have trained yourself to ignore. And there it is. It might be called an administrative fee. It might be called a regulatory cost recovery charge. It might be called a telco recovery charge, or something else that sounds like it came straight out of a government office. Sit with that name for a second, because that name is the entire trick. Here is the thing, they are counting on you never learning. That charge is not a tax. It is not required by any law. No agency in Washington reached down and ordered it onto your bill. Your carrier created it. Your carrier decided how much it would be. And your carrier keeps the money. The federal regulators have said this plainly. These carrier surcharges, the administrative fees, and the recovery charges are not government mandated. They are business costs that a company chose to peel off and print as a separate line, dressed in language that sounds official on purpose. The name was not an accident. The name was the product. And this is where I want you to feel something shift, because once you see this, you cannot unsee it. There are real taxes on your phone bill. Those exist. There is a fee that funds emergency services, the system that answers when you call for help. There is a federal fund that helps pay for phone service in rural areas and for low-income households. Those are genuine, and they are set by the government, and the amount changes depending on where you live. That part is real. But your carrier learned something clever. They learned that if they put their own charges right next to the real ones and gave them serious-sounding names, your eye would slide over all of it as one single blur of official obligation. The real taxes end up giving cover to the ones that only pretend to be official. You stopped questioning the whole section because part of the section was legitimate. So let us separate them, because that is the skill nobody handed you. On your bill, there is usually a group of genuine government taxes and fees, and separately, there is a group of charges the carrier imposes on its own. The tell is in the wording and the placement. A true government fee will often name the thing it funds. A carrier charge tends to hide behind vague words like administrative, regulatory, recovery, cost. Those words are doing something specific. They are borrowing the authority of the government without actually being the government. And the moment you can look at your bill and point to which charges your carrier chose to add, something changes in you. You stop being someone the bill happens to. You become someone reading it. Now, let us talk about what this actually costs you, because on its own, that one line looks like nothing, and that too is by design. A charge of a few dollars does not trigger alarm. That is exactly why it stays small enough to ignore. But you do not pay it once. You pay it every month, on every line, for as long as you hold that account. And it rarely travels alone. Add that charge to the other surcharges and the quiet padding around it, and the gap between the price you were advertised and the price you actually pay can run into the range of $15 to $25 per line every month. Stretch that across a year and across a family plan with several lines, and you are looking at real money. Money you never agreed to in any conversation you would remember. Money that simply appeared, wearing an official sounding name, and stayed. And here is the question that unlocks the whole thing. If this charge is a normal cost of running the business, why is it not just inside the price? Why is it carved out and listed separately at all? You already know the answer, because you have felt it work on you. If the carrier folded that charge into the plan, the advertised price would go up, and a higher advertised price loses customers. So they keep the sticker number low and attractive, and they move the real cost into a line at the bottom where you will not see it until you are already a customer, already set up, already unlikely to leave over a few dollars. The separate line is not an accounting necessity. It is a marketing decision aimed at the exact moment you compare prices and choose. So what do you actually do with this? Not panic and not rage at a customer service person who did not invent any of this. You get specific. The first move is simply to read the itemized bill once, slowly, and identify every charge that is your carrier's own and not a government tax. Just seeing them clearly strips away most of their power, because they were built on you never looking. The second move is to call and ask plainly what each carrier charge is for, and whether any of it can be reduced. Ask for the department that handles keeping customers, sometimes called retention or loyalty, because those are the people with the authority to actually adjust an account. You may be surprised what quietly comes off a bill when a customer makes clear they are paying attention and thinking about leaving. And then look at the extras riding along that have nothing to do with any of this. Device protection you forgot you enrolled in, long after the phone was paid off. An add-on you agreed to once and never used. Those are yours to cancel today from your own account, and they often add up to more than the surcharges do. Clearing them is the fastest few minutes of savings available to you. There is a bigger move, too, for when you are ready. The largest carriers are not the only option, and some of the smaller carriers run on the exact same physical towers, leasing the same network, and simply charge less, because they do not play the same game with hidden lines. Some carriers now advertise all-in pricing, where the number you see is the number you pay, fees included. Your phone number is portable by right. It belongs to you, not to the company, and you can carry it with you when you go. Knowing that changes every conversation you have with a carrier, because the one thing that truly moves them is a customer who can actually walk. I will be straight with you about one limit, because that is the deal between us. The genuine taxes on your bill do change from state to state, and what your neighbor pays in a different place will not match yours to the penny. That part depends on where you live, and it is worth a glance at your own bill to see your own numbers. But the thing at the center of all this, the carrier's own charge, with the official sounding name, is not a tax anywhere. It is a choice the company made, in every state, everywhere. That truth does not move. So here is where you stand now, and it is a different place than where you started. That charge that made you feel a little foolish for years was never a test you failed. It was a small piece of theater, staged so that you would look at it, feel that flicker of doubt, and pay without asking. You are done doing that. Not because you are angry, but because you can read your own bill now, name what belongs to the government and what belongs to the company, and ask the questions you were quietly told were not yours to ask. You did not need to be an expert. You just needed someone to say the quiet part out loud. Nothing there was ever above your head. It was only ever counting on you to look away. If this made one line on your bill finally make sense, subscribe and stay close, because this is far from the only charge built to be skimmed past. There is a whole language of these small, official-sounding lines. On your phone bill, your internet bill, your card statement, each one betting on the same glance and the same silence. The next one I want to show you is the one they least want you looking at. And once you see how it works, you will start spotting it everywhere. Come find out what it is.